see, the thing is that ideas only become right when you have power. So power has hired people who have the wrong ideas, the incorrect ideas, but because they have power, they have the right ideas. It complicates the world. Every time I think I'm going crazier. If I tell somebody I should be at an event which has to do with Mumia Abu-Jamal, they look at me in a funny way. Of course, then I say Cornel West is going to be there, then it's okay. But there is a little bit of that peculiar feeling of being a conspiracy theorist, of being somehow just a little off. A colleague wrote to me recently, it had to do with Gaza. He said, "You're such a sensible fellow. Why do you say some of the things you say?" You see, they have power, so their wrong ideas are the right ideas. And our correct ideas cannot be right. Now that poses a big problem for us, for intellectuals. Because we would like to have our correct ideas be the right ideas. But you need power. And to build power, you need a movement. And to have a movement, you need commitment. And to have commitment, you need to understand that our victories don't come quickly. They take time. And the reason is, we are not always sure how to realize our correct ideas. Our strategies have to keep changing. Power is clever. When we move, it moves 3 times. When we think we have the advantage, it's already taken the hill. So we have to think. You can't just act. You have to think, you have to act, you have to act, you have to think. You have to have commitment, you have to have patience. There is no substitute for patience. I remember talking to my father many years ago, before he died, and he said to me, in this movement, we can't start with the belief that the revolution comes tomorrow. Because in one respect, the revolution has to keep coming. And that's why I said struggle is therapy. Struggle never ends. There is always something new. Even in our own movements, there will be issues that we need to deal with. So, we have to build a movement to make our ideas from the correct ideas to the right ideas. Because that, I would say, is the only salvation. Right now, his election was a nice, stubby, brown finger in the eye of white supremacy. But the thing is, this is an empire. This is not a nation. And I think we forget that. We think we've elected a president. People say, he's our president. He is the proconsul of an empire. They have business to attend to. They have oil to get. They have dollars to protect. They have business to attend to. And we are not their business. It's important that we build this movement, not only for Mumia. And I think I hazard, even though a life is in the balance, that Mumia would also say that this is not a movement about him. This is a movement about the wound. This is a movement to take us out of the wound. I want to end with just a little poem which I will recite for you. You know, it's his son, who was at that time being grown by his mother in the same room, in the same bed where his father was shot. And in that book, there was a speech that Fred Hampton gave when he was 21 years old. And Fred Hampton described what struggle was. I thought it was an interesting speech, but because I couldn't picture Fred Hampton cooking. But, I mean, I didn't know much about his life, so he may have been an extraordinarily good cook. Okay, so he was a good cook. Okay, all right. So to explain to us, to me, this was a speech he gave in 1969, at the age of 21. He said, being in a movement is like cooking. He said, first you get the ingredients, the people. And the ingredients have very little to do with each other. They don't know each other, they don't trust each other. They think they're different. They're divided by history, they're divided by fantasies and fictions of color, they're divided by language, they're divided by all kinds of things. They think they're different, they don't trust each other. So you take this material, these ingredients, and you prepare them. You have the carrots, you cut them, you clean the meat if you're not a vegetarian. Why would you not be a vegetarian? You prepare all the food, you have the oil ready, and then when the time is right, you put the saucepan on the fire, and you turn the fire on. And when the fire is on and the oil is hot, you put the ingredients in there, and they begin to cook.